Welcome to Kimball Curiosities, and the curiosity today is part 2 of the trials and tribulations of my 3D printer. In this video I touch bases on the bed leveling and the x-axis leveling, where I had some issues that I had to solve. I will then also show my 3D print and then give you my feedback regarding the CR10S-PRO version 2. Without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay, I've resituated the camera and we're gonna plug her in. Power it up. I'm gonna kind of move it this way. Audio, I did not know that. All the reviews I saw on this where it didn't have the audio. Settings, leveling, now it's auto homing. It's supposed to go down. As you can see, it's moving slowly. Just want to make sure it, okay, hit. And it should do a second drop. Okay. So there it's set right now. What I needed to do is on the front panel here, I'm going to bring the camera closer and show you some of the functions here in a minute here, is hit the measuring home, and then it goes to the center location, does a up and down test, and then I've got to use this to measure. Unfortunately, it's a little bit on the low side. Any of the other instructions that I look at, it says it automatically comes up here, but mine obviously isn't doing that, so that's what I've got to do. So basically what I'm doing is slowly raising it up, and one of the drawbacks of this is that it's very, very slow hitting it, and you can hear the buttons as I'm doing this, so I'm going to hold off here. So it's slow, so I got to get this up so I can get this underneath to measure to make sure that the x-axis is balanced. I'm going to move around here and I'm going to readjust the camera to a closer look at the control panel and also how I'm measuring this. All right, I've readjusted the camera to the screen. I'm going to show you what initially you start up with. You get a print, temperature, and a settings button. Print, temperature, settings. Settings button. Then it brings up another menu of leveling, refuel, move, disable motor, language, and print info. What you want to do is hit the level, and then it does that. That's the auto leveling device that's sitting there touching. I've got to measure to make sure everything is set up. Back this out a bit. Didn't see that? There's a little button on the setting for the get rid of the beeping noise, which I've just done. So what I'm doing is slightly moving up and down until I know that I can get a decent. Okay, seems to be there. So we check this one over here. And yeah, this side is a little bit higher. So what I've got to do is on the back here, there are two knobs on the back. And what they say is I got to go back to the menu here. Disable motors. Just going to move the camera down here so you can see. Disable the motors. Done that. And now grab one side and adjust the other one down. All right. Again, do a quick, it's pretty tight there. Okay. Hold that. For some reason that moved. It shouldn't have moved. So, oh, wait a minute. Looks like I might have gotten it. Okay, let's, okay. Just that one up. My arm is probably in the way and I apologize. Okay, so this one is slightly going in. This one. Okay, I got it adjusted a bit. I'm just gonna move in here. So you measure here, and then you go over onto this side, and you measure here. Pretty close. I even put a level on it to double check everything. It seems to be okay. So then you, once you do that, you go back to your screen here. And you hit the leveling. And it'll go back to doing its now the next step. Okay, the next step on this is it resets back up to the level, so we got to put it back down to where it is, so you get this 0.2 millimeter device that they give you to measure. I'm going to put it down here while I drop the Z-axis down. Little montage would be here. Zoom in here for you guys to take a look. Okay, I've moved the camera a little bit closer. You can see where the nozzle is to the bed. And the measuring device right here. I'm going to throw some light on here so that you can see. And it goes like that, and it slides through. If I go 1 millimeter down too much, it doesn't slide very good. Yeah, actually that one does. I think we got it right there. Yeah, slight resistance. So there we go. We got that. So now it's point to the bed. The next step I got to do is do the four corners and the center to measure to level the bed. I will again adjust the camera while I'm doing this. Okay, so now it's set at its location. That's weird. All right, we're going to go to number 2. And I'm going to check, see if that's okay. It's a little bit loose. So we'll bring the bed up a bit. I'm going to take a quick look here for a second. I've got it here, but it's still not loose enough, but I'm tight on here. I'm going to tighten this a little bit more. I might have to do some loosening and then re-leveling everything. And that's what seems to be the issue here, because I cannot get this any higher. Okay, so we'll check number 3. Back. Took me about a day. There was an issue with the bed. The one corner with the bed all tightened up on the 4 corners. You're supposed to measure the different locations and then make an adjustment based on that. Well, what was happening is the far back corner, or the back left-hand corner, it kept hitting the nozzle. So I had to phone the company that I purchased this from. They've been very responsive to my feedback. In the meantime, while they're trying to figure out whether it's spring issue or the bed issue, I played around and started using the measurement device on the unit, and I've got it dialed in where it's fairly level with adjustments without hitting the nozzle. So one last check, and then I'm going to show putting in the filament, and we'll go from there. So what you do is you take this little like I said before, 0.2 millimeter measuring gauge, go down to the bed, and you move this back and forth, and it should be touching almost. And that's got it right there. I'm going to do one more measurement. And it's going to go through and do that one more measurement where it goes through a grid pattern, measures it with the device. And this will give me an idea how well it's dialed in for it. Okay, so a little bit more fine tuning there that I did, and it's now set up and ready to go. Time to put some filament in. And we'll take this out of we'll take the filament that they supplied first, instead of the stuff that I bought. Okay, supply you with little cutters. I'm going to take oops. Where is it? I'm gonna have to take a look here. Find the end because it kind of went on away on me. There it is. Okay, I'm feeding in the filament in the printer. It took a little bit to get through the no filament sensor. It was a little bit finesse on that one. It's now going into here. I raised this up to see that the filament has made it through, so I can stop the unit from continually feeding. And so we're waiting for some stuff to come flying out of here. We'll be right back when I start seeing something out of here. I don't know how long it's going to take, and no sense boring everybody, so we'll be back. Okay, there you go. You can see it's coming out of the extruder right now. We'll wait till it finishes its feed. Alrighty, so now I gotta clean the bed with isopropyl alcohol. I'm gonna grab the print job, I'm gonna put it in here. I'm gonna turn the printer out and go through it on that. So I'll have to rearrange the camera again. That's what happens when you're doing all the videos by yourself. Okay, I'm gonna wipe down the bed here with some isopropyl alcohol. You can use wipes or you can buy a bottle of isopropyl alcohol. This way it gets any grease, grime that you have on that you got on there from your fingers, and allows it to adhere better. So Creality gives you a USB stick. Light's kind of bright there, so USB stick. So we'll take that out and plug it in, and then that should give us give you some stickers too. So on the side of the unit will be a USB port. You would have to either use a BlackBerry to connect to it, or make your files and put them on a stick, and then put the stick in the USB port after you did your work, instead of sending it. Like I said, some people use a BlackBerry that connects directly to this and then goes wireless from your creator and onto the unit itself. So after some trial and tribulations, I finally got a successful 3D print happening. As you can see, it's approximately 18% done and still printing. I had to do 4 prints. 1, 2, 3, 4. Various issues coming off the print, filament issues, and I will discuss what I had to do. And there we go, it came off. Welcome back. It's been 3 different days of figuring out this printer. First day was setting it up. The second day during that day discovered an issue with the bed. The next day figured out how to get past that solution, and then I had problems with my prints, as you can see right here. So another day trying to figure out why it wasn't sticking. And again, I'm fairly new to 3D printing, so I had to do some research and stuff like that. I actually switched it up and decided to do a different print. I want to give a big shout out to NEWB Solutions Limited, the company that I bought this 3D printer from through Amazon. I contacted them with my problem with the bed. They responded back really quick to me after I talked to them on the phone and going back and forth through email. They were all right on top of it and making suggestions and trying to solve the problem while I was doing my solutions here. I'm going to go through those after this print is done or later on in this video, or I might do a second video of the issues I went through for somebody who's new to 3D printing and is looking at particularly this unit, but overall when you're looking at a printer itself, the kind of things that you want to look for. I find in some of the YouTube videos they're not mentioning that. For somebody who's fresh out of the gate, I think I can give that opportunity for individuals that are looking for that. Anyways, this was my first print that I could do. I'll give a close-up of it. Right now it's doing a calibration one that was suggested by the fellow at NEWB Solutions. And I will post a link to their Amazon store as well as their website, because you can order it directly from their site too if you want. Again, 100% helpful. Really, thank you very much, Alex from NEWB Solutions Limited. All right, so this print is almost done. I will rearrange the camera to The print is about 85% done, and it's looking really good for my print. I have to say it took a bit, but again, I switched to a different style print. I'm going to try the other one later. I'm going to have to make some adjustments on that one through the slicer program. But overall, I think I finally got all the issues solved, and as I said, I will go through what I experienced. All right, the print is done. There you can see right there on the print. And here are some of the bad prints I got. And this is, again, a different type of print. I'm just going to show it, put these here, show you the results. Some of it was because the filament didn't work very well. Other ones didn't adhere to the bed. So there, as you can see, I went through multiple prints, the best one being this one right here. One of the things that, with regards to this particular print that was supplied with Creality's USB stick that they supplied, was it didn't do a strip, a practice strip to take the excess stuff that's leaking out from the extruder, because when it starts up, if it's sitting there, oops, sorry, I'm not there we go. This stuff comes out of the extruder, and it didn't do a test strip. And I'll move the camera over to that area to show you what I'm talking about. And it's a good idea when you're doing your print is to do a quick little strip and then move over here and do your print. So there you go. This was not done on this print device. I don't know. Again, I'm new, so I don't know if it's part of the geocode or something that's in the program. So I got this off the website, used a slicer program, and put this in here. As you can see, it's a fairly good result. I will now scrape it off the printer bed and give you another closer look at it. IX. Interesting. Okay, so that was my first successful print. There you go. Trials and tribulations of somebody going through their first 3D printer and purchasing it, and what to look for. Hopefully you get a lot from this video. I know I was both frustrating and rewarding at the same time. I'm going to go through how I diagnosed and the problems I had. A shout out to Alex from Mech Solutions Limited, as we were communicating back and forth through email in regards to the bed issue. Found out what the reason behind that, and again I'll show you that. If you have a sticking problem, which was what this issue was, it could be your Z-axis, but also from the websites, glue stick or hairspray on your bed. Make sure your bed's cleaned with isopropyl alcohol too after each print is recommended. I didn't do anything on this print, the final print here that I did. This one was basically cleaned the bed and did a print. So it was probably the Z-axis that's the issue with this. If you like my video, hit the like button down below, add your comments, and I hope you subscribe. Thank you, and peace out.